we like picked up the detective, like the midship detective agency, like to find the missing puppies. And we never found them. So like for the entire year, he's like, we never found those puppies.
I love that. Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of the DCL Duo podcast, brought to you by My Path Unwinding Travel. As you can tell from hearing my voice instead of Brian's, I am your host today, Sam. I am solo hosting, but don't worry, I am not solo. I have a fabulous guest here with me today to talk about Disney cruising. I'm going to welcome to the show a first-time guest, not first-time cruiser, Francesca. Welcome to the show, Francesca.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. Now, I mentioned you're not a first-time cruiser. In fact, you are diamond status on a different cruise line, not Disney Cruise Line. Tell me about that.
Well, hang on. First of all, Royal Caribbean people get a little crazy. So I want to correct you and say that I'm Diamond Plus.
Oh, Diamond Plus. So, okay.
Yes,
I don't know these status names. I have some status on Royal, but I don't know what even it's called.
Yeah, I know that it's like the highest before you get to Pinnacle. And like, I don't think I'll ever make Pinnacle in my lifetime because it's the difference between like 200 points and like 800 points. So I don't even, maybe by the time I'm retired, I'll get there. But I'm just Diamond Plus. But I was basically born into a cruising family. Like I'm not sure what I was when I was born, but I think I made Diamond Plus by the time I was like 7. So yeah, it was one of those where my parents had cruised a lot, and like you take what their status is. So like even from like a really, really young age, like my cruise like C-Pass card would always say Diamond Plus. But I have been on probably about 15 or so Royal Caribbean cruises. We used to go every summer, like a 7-day cruise to the Caribbean. And then when I got a little bit older, when I was like probably middle school age, we then started doing cruises to Europe. And then we even did, I think our most exotic cruise was probably, it was like the Quantum of the Seas. It left from Shanghai and then we went to around Japan, which is really cool.
Oh, that's very cool. Yes. I mean, itineraries. Yeah. That's awesome.
Definitely. So yeah, I've got some history.
Yeah. So when did you start cruising with Disney Cruise Line, and what was the thing that made you decide to cruise with Disney, having been a loyal to Royal person for years?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a big Disney person. Like I grew up going to the parks. I live in Florida. I live in South Florida. So Disney was a 3-hour drive from us, and we went multiple times a year. I've always been a pass holder. So for me, it was always like kind of a no-brainer. Like I always wanted to do a Disney cruise. For some reason, I couldn't get my parents to go. Like they just like did not want to do it. They were not interested in a Disney cruise. So I think it was 2018. I finally like had a little bit of like grown-up money, and my friend and I decided like, hey, it's summer. Like, what if we want to cruise together? Let's do a Disney cruise. So we went. I remember it was my first cruise. We went on the Dream, and I just fell in love with it. Like I don't know. There's just something, to be cheesy. There's something magical about it. It's like the characters, just like it's everything I loved about cruising, but with like a Disney element to it. And I just had so much fun. I loved Castaway. So, I had been dying to go back, and we never did because, we're young adults. Like we didn't have that much money at the time. So
you'd had some money, but not like Disney level money. I understand.
Not really Disney cruise. Yeah. Not Disney cruise money, like more than once. So I remember, and then of course that, like I said, that was 2018. And then the pandemic happened. So, I hadn't really gone on any cruises for a couple years. And then The Wish was coming out. So we decided, me and this friend and 2 other friends who came along this time, we decided, let's go on the new ship. Yeah. So we did The Wish pretty early on. I don't know when The Wish came out. I think it was like maybe June or July of 2022.
Yeah, it was July of 2022. It was, I want to say, mid-July of 2022.
Yeah, we went, it was September because I remember it was the week after Labor Day. So we went very
early. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was still getting her sea legs.
She was. She was. I think there were like, I remember, I didn't even know this was a thing until after the cruise, but whatever the equivalent to like the midship detective thing.
Uncharted Adventure. It was not up yet.
Not available. But I didn't know. I didn't even know that was a thing. So it didn't bother me.
It was like a good 6 or 9 months before the midship detective, or before Uncharted Adventure actually was up and running. I'm trying to remember. It was up for I want to say it was up for our second sailing on the Wish. Well, we did back-to-back so I don't mean the second sailing because we were on the first and the second sailing of the Wish, but the next time we went, I believe it was up and running, but I can't remember exact. I think that was spring break, which would have been April the following year. I think that was our second time so April 2023. It was up and running then, but I don't think it was up and running even like by the holidays it was longer than I think we had sort of expected, given that they had announced it. But yeah. And so that was your second cruise. Did you do any others before this one, or is this your third cruise that we're going to talk about?
This is actually my fifth cruise.
Oh, your fifth cruise. Okay, what were your other two? Yeah.
So we made a couple more doing that.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah. Rapid succession. So basically, I think it was maybe like 2 weeks before I went on the Wish. My mom, for whatever reason, I don't know what got into her, but she was like, I'll go on a Disney cruise with you. And I was like,
after all those years of saying, let's stay on Royal, and then all of a sudden she's like, I want to be a Silver Castaway Club.
I know. I was just like, oh, okay. So like, I wasted no time because, she said that. I was like, well, you're not changing your mind. So I booked the Dream. It was out of Miami at the time before they built the new port. So, or the new terminal rather. So I was like, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. So we went probably like 6 months after we went on the Wish, that I went with my friends. My mom loved it. Like, she had the best time ever. Like, we didn't get off the ship and she was like, when are we going again? She was obsessed with the ice cream, like, the free ice cream. She's like, to this day, like she's like, I need my ice cream. I need my ice cream. When am I getting my ice cream? So
I love that.
Yeah. So we did a little girls trip, and then the following year, so that's April or May, whatever, 2024, then we brought my dad. That was also on the Dream.
Oh my gosh. So you've been on, because you booked this on the Dream. So you've been on the Dream. So of your 5 cruises, 4 of them have been on the Dream and 1 on the Wish. Okay. So we're talking, when we get to rapid fire, we're only comparing Dream and Wish. Okay. That's always helpful for me, but for my frame of reference. Okay. So tell me, okay. So this cruise that you most recently went on that we're going to talk about today was a 4-night cruise on the Dream that went to Lookout Cay. Was this your
Castaway?
Oh, and Castaway. Oh, was it? Ooh, it was a duo dip. I love it.
It was. It was.
Now, did you pick this itinerary because it was the Dream? Because it because it was a duo dip? Like, what was it? Just the dates that worked? Like, what was the reason for this itinerary specifically?
So it was a combination. Not so much the Dream, because I really would like to check out the other ships, like especially the Fantasy and like the Magic class, because I haven't done that yet. But it was a combination of the fact that it was out of Fort Lauderdale, and I live in downtown Fort Lauderdale. So
you can like take a cab. I mean, and you're there.
Yeah, it's no joke. It's like a 7-minute drive if you're not catching the traffic lights. Once in a while, if I'm driving on a certain road and the ships are in port, you can hear the horns going. That's how close I live.
Oh my God. I'm super jealous. Okay. So it's super easy for you then to obviously get to Fort Lauderdale. You're just rolling out of bed. You can go to your local coffee shop and then you can roll over to the port. I love that. That's fantastic. Okay. So from a planning travel perspective, you have no travel to plan. But I do want to talk a little bit about planning because I know you were able to get a couple of coveted things, and you were sailing as a silver Castaway Club member. You are now a part of gold, so congratulations. Welcome to the Gold Castaway Club. Um, yeah, but when you were booking, you're in that second to last booking window. Yet you were still able to get like I said, two coveted things. Why don't you tell us what you got and how you got them?
Yeah, so I got both Palo Brunch and I got a cabana on Lookout at Serenity Bay. And I'll start with Palo because that's what I got first. So initially, this is kind of funny because I know this is actually my first 4-day cruise. I'll start with that because the other 4 cruises that I went on were all 3 nights. So I never got to experience the pirate night menu. So everybody always talks about the pirate night menu and how it's not for them. It's their least favorite night. My family loves seafood. So I just initially I was like, oh, we need to book Palo on the pirate night. Like I didn't even look at it. I was just like, we're gonna that's what we're gonna do. So I when that booking window opened for me, like the silver booking window to get to book onboard activities, I was able to get Palo dinner and I booked it and it was fine. And then I was just kind of looking around to see like what else is, available. And I saw that there was Palo Brunch and I was like, I know everybody really likes Palo Brunch. Like, I know that everybody raves about this. Everybody talks about this. You can't get a reservation. And they had reservations for a time I liked because my family, we're not really big breakfast people. Like we'll go to the buffet and we definitely like the churro waffles, which is, I had like 10 that day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right?
Of course you have to.
Yeah. But you wanted a brunch closer to lunchtime, is what you're saying. Not you didn't want a 9 o'clock in the morning brunch. You wanted like an 11 o'clock in the morning brunch.
Exactly.
Which is what I will say. That's what I prefer with Palo Brunch because the food that I like at Palo is the Italian food. And so I'm not bothering with like an egg dish or a waffle or, or like eggs Benedict or something like that. I'm going directly to the lunch more type foods. And so I don't want to eat those at 9 o'clock in the morning. Like I don't want tomato soup and chicken parm at 9 in the morning. I want that at 11 o'clock in the morning or close to noon. Right. So I feel you there. That's awesome. Now, what did you end up doing with your Palo dinner? Did you end up keeping it or canceling it? Cause that's a lot of specialty dining in a 4-night cruise, to be perfectly honest. It's a lot of food, considering that, you get a lot of food in main dining also. Plus, if you hadn't tried the pirate night menu, I actually think that everyone should try that menu before they say they don't like it, like I say.
Right. Yeah. No, we did end up canceling it. I looked at the menu and I like reviewed it with my mom because, she's the one who's like most excited about it. So she was like, I want to hear what we're eating. I need to hear, I need to go over the menus. So I was reading it with her and I was like, this all sounds really good. Like this sounds up our alley. Maybe like we're from Florida. We love a good seafood restaurant. So we were like, yeah, let's just, we'll give that a try. Why not? And, I think that might have even been one of my favorite meals. That like I got some sort of like shrimp, like it was like a peel and eat shrimp pasta and scallop, some like marinara sauce, whatever. It was really, really good.
Good. Okay, I'm glad. I like hearing that. Listen, I feel like different things appeal to different eaters, and just because I'm not a big fan of the pirate night menu doesn't mean it's not good for other people. In fact, a lot of people really love that menu now. So, and they did, we always talk about how they have updated it. It's not when we started cruising on Disney Cruise Line, I think it wasn't. I think it was worse. I think it's gotten better over the years as well. And so, but I think everyone should choose their own adventure. All right. Well, tell me about the cabana, the coveted cabana at Lookout Cay on Serenity Bay. Did that just like randomly pop up at some point? I'm guessing you didn't get that when you first did your booking.
Right. I actually wasn't really looking for a cabana. I'll be honest, I never really thought about getting a cabana in the first place. It's not usually how I would think to spend my money. Because, we tend to be more like in the water people, like we like putting our chairs in the water or, being in the ocean. So it didn't really occur to me to do that. And then I was in like our cruise Facebook group. You got to sign up for that.
Absolutely.
And
Good
yeah,
advice. Good pro tip.
exactly. I was in that and I saw someone post, I think this was like the 30 days before maybe, or yeah, it was 30 days before, I think, because everything was open to the general public at that point. Somebody posted, there are cabanas left at Serenity Bay at Castaway. So I was like, oh, let me check. Let me just see. I don't know. Like, what if I just reserved this? I don't know. I don't have to keep it.
Yeah, you can always cancel as long as you cancel, like, what is it, 2 or 3 days in advance of the cruise. And there's like I think it's like 48 hours or whatever before you sail, but it's like based on East Coast time, so based on midnight. So anyway, just make sure you cancel by 3 days before the cruise and you won't get charged for it. And then even if you want to cancel on the cruise, as long as there's a couple of days in advance before you actually are going to be in the cabana, you usually can even cancel on board because there's almost always somebody who wants one. And so it's not like it's one of those things where, like, if you want to drop an excursion last minute, if they have a waiting list, they'll let you drop an excursion. Same goes with cabanas. They almost always have a waiting list of people who want one. So it's one of those things where if you change your mind, it's not a big deal. And you can also, in your Facebook group, see if there are others who want to split the cost with you. I always think that's a good idea. If you are, let's say you're like a party of 2 or a party of 4, like that cabana is plenty of room. And so you can have, 6 to 10 people in the regular cabanas. You can have more in the grand cabana. So it's really great if you decide like to split. But of course, it's Serenity Bay. You're talking adults only. So can only share with other adults. Well, so tell me, you go on, you see that there's cabanas, or you've heard that cabanas are available at Castaway. Did you just look in the app for both Castaway and Lookout and just try to see what was available at that point?
Yeah. So I initially like went to Castaway, and there were some available. I think it was the very last one. When I say the very last one, I mean like the very last numbered cabana. So I I booked it like kind of on a whim, and then I looked it up on YouTube, and I was like, I don't know, this seems really far from everything. It just the pictures I was getting of it, I don't know, I wasn't loving it so much. And also, I know Serenity Bay on Castaway is like kind of secluded from everything, and a lot of people do like that. I kind of, even though there are no children in our family, I do like being on the family beach. I think it's livelier, and you could see the ship. I just think it's like a better vibe for me personally than the Serenity Bay area. So I was like, I don't know that I want this. So I immediately like just went back and was like, I'm gonna just get rid of this. And then that's when I just decided to check to see if there was anything available on Lookout. And sure enough, there were 2 left. There was one,
Wow.
I think it was like the ADA, like the really big one that the wheelchair can go in, which was also very expensive. Not that any of these are cheap, but then they had like the standard size on Serenity Bay, and we're 4 adults. So I was like, I'm just going to book this. I'm just going to book it. I don't have to keep it. Let's just see. And like the more I just kind of sat with it, the more I wanted to do it. And I didn't tell anybody in my family. I was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm just going to, I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing or what I was going to do with this information. I was like, should I surprise everybody? What should I do? So I think maybe 2 weeks went by, and I finally told my mom, I was like, I'm treating everybody. Don't worry. This is you guys work very hard. This is my gift to you. And then we just, my mom got very excited, and we decided to surprise my dad and my brother. And this is where it actually gets funny, because we didn't tell them a thing until we were going to really, like, how they give you the wristband that says cabana on it? I was going to try to hide it even up to then. Like, we would go up to like, oh, we would pass by our cabana and our name would be on it. And we were like, oh, look at that. What's this about? But they gave the wristbands, like they put it on my parents' door.
It also shows up in the app. So this is the other part. It's like if you have family members who are actually looking at the app, they may see it. There are those family members who really don't use the app that much or don't look that far in advance and only look at like today's activities. And so those folks you might be able to surprise, but it is harder to surprise people because it's in the app.
It did say that in the app, didn't it? And I don't think my dad saw that. He definitely didn't see it. I think my brother, he saw it, and then like 5 seconds later, the wristbands showed up. So it was like this all happened really quickly. But what was funny about the wristbands was my dad picked them up, and he said that he saw that it said cabanas, and he's like, "Is this for the?" He's like, "Is this for the buffet?"
Right. The word, I mean, cabanas, the buffet has the same name as cabanas, the category of things on the private island. So I can understand the confusion.
It's an easy mistake to make.
That's hilarious.
But he was like, "What's this for?" He like, I don't
just
know. You know
didn't get
how, like,
it. Yeah.
yeah. You know how like if you have an excursion or something, it's like you better be in the atrium at this time. He was like, "Do I have to be at the buffet at a certain time?" And we were like, "No, we got a cabana surprise."
That's so cute. Oh, I love that. Well, let's back up then to because we've kind of jumped ahead, but which is great because I love the surprise cabana. It's a great thing to surprise your family with if you ever can. But let's jump to the boarding process. Now you live in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Does the rest of your family live close by as well?
Yeah, my parents live in Parkland, which is like a half hour north of Fort Lauderdale. So they basically swung by, picked me up, and we just got right on the ship from there. My brother was living in Chicago at the time. He's since moved back to Florida. He had just graduated med school, so that was another thing. On the ship, everybody was celebrating that too.
Yeah, awesome. So he flew in. You all traveled together to the port. What was your port arrival time?
We got the earliest port arrival time as well. So like 11:15, I think, was when we got there.
That's awesome. And how did the boarding process go? I mean, Fort Lauderdale now seems to be pretty much a well-oiled machine like Port Canaveral. So I'm assuming it went well, unless there were issues with, customs or the Coast Guard or whatever. Sometimes those kinds of things can delay. But generally speaking, I feel like it's a pretty easy process. How did you guys find it?
Yeah, it was very easy. We basically parked and were on the ship probably within 15 minutes. I think the biggest issue, and this wasn't really even an issue, is they scanned us through without doing our magic bands. So they kind of had to reprocess us, but it took like an extra 3 minutes. Like it wasn't a big deal. So by the time we got there, they were already calling our group. So we just walked right on.
Awesome. Now, you guys had all been on the Dream before, so it wasn't like we have to explore the ship because you at that point know where everything is. This is your fourth time on the Dream. What's your embarkation day tradition? Are you cabanas people? Do you head to Animator's Palette for lunch? What's your vibe for the start of embarkation day?
We're definitely cabanas people. I'm a classic chicken tenders and honey mustard girl. Because I'm a child, but my parents go straight for those crab claws.
Oh yeah, those are good. Yeah, the peel and eat shrimp, the crab claws. I mean, it is they have a nice spread, I have to say. Even though I don't like the chaos of a buffet, and I'm not a big buffet person in general because I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, but I do think that Disney does a pretty nice buffet of all the buffets out there. And I personally think nicer than Royal's, even though I think Royal has I feel like Royal has more options, but I think I personally don't think the quality is as good, but I don't know. You've been on Royal a lot more than I have.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the Windjammer, I mean, it does have international sections.
Yeah, more variety. Yeah.
It does, but I don't really love their buffet. It's funny because I'm not sure if it's gone down in quality or that I'm just an adult now. And before I was just eating chicken nuggets. I mean, I'm still eating chicken nuggets, but now that I try the adult food, it's this isn't that good.
Yeah. Well, and you would probably notice things like cleanliness and things there's things that you notice as an adult that you probably wouldn't notice as much as a kid. And you're right. There's things you would try as an adult that you probably wouldn't have tried as a kid. You're just eating chicken tenders, mac and cheese, and French fries when you're a kid. Well, if you're like my kid, you are.
Yep. If you're me, an adult, I eat a lot of chicken tenders, so
Nice.
But now, it is clean in the Windjammer. They like make you wash your hands, but they've got like the washy people.
That's right. They sing the washy song and dance. That's right. That is a unique royal thing that you won't see on Disney Cruise Line. Although I want the hand washers from the kids club though in the dining rooms. I think. Yeah. If Disney, like the way that Disney could even up level their hand washing is the kids club hand washers in all the buffets. Absolutely.
Definitely. It does it all for you.
It does it for you. Exactly. So, exactly. Yeah. You don't have to worry about those people who don't wash for 30 seconds or whatever.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Francesca, I want to talk about the private island experience at Castaway and at Lookout in particular, because you got to hit both on this cruise. You had been to Castaway before. This was your first time at Lookout. You, of course, got that coveted Serenity Bay cabana at Lookout. Tell us, like, what did you think about Lookout as compared to Castaway? I think they're very different experiences, but both pretty amazing. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're both, very unique and very beautiful, very like amazing times in their own right. I think maybe like when Lookout was first opened, I think there was a lot of comparison to Castaway. And, I get it because we're all used to Castaway, but I think this island has so much to offer in its own right. And, it's so different and it's so like naturally beautiful. And I just really loved it. Like I'm not, it's so funny. I keep going back and forth, like with whether or not Castaway is my favorite or Lookout's my favorite. I really do like them both. I don't even want to say equally. It's just they're
different, right? It's hard to, yeah. I think you can like each of them as much as you like the other, but for different reasons, right? Like that's the thing. It's like, it's like you can do a comparison because like Castaway is better in certain ways, but Lookout is better in other ways, right? So it's that dichotomy. What did you think about the food on Lookout? Because obviously you have some unique offerings that you don't have at Castaway.
Yeah, I did think the food was better. I think the quality was a little bit better. I think with Castaway, it's kind of just that basic barbecue, which I'm fine with. I like a good hot dog. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not picky, but I do think that the options were a lot more interesting. Like they had like seasoned rice. They had fries for one thing. Castaway doesn't have fries. I don't know why.
Correct. We think it's because they don't have a way of disposing of the oil because it's not like Eleuthera is like a habited island with other things on the island. So there's like a way to like actually dispose of that kind of waste. We think on Castaway, they would have to bring fryer oil back and forth from the ship. And so that would be quite difficult. Yeah. That's what we think. We don't know that for sure, but that's what we surmise.
That's certain. Yeah, that would make sense actually. Yeah, like I had like at Castaway, I just get my hot dog and like a bag of chips. Whereas at Lookout, I had like a whole variety of stuff going on my plate. I had like mac and cheese. I don't even remember what I had. I definitely had some rice.
Did you try the chicken sandwich?
I did try the chicken sandwich. That's what I was missing. Yeah.
I feel like the chicken, like it's a spicy chicken sandwich. It's not very spicy. I'm not a spicy food person, but I like that chicken sandwich is totally within my palate. But it's one of those things where it's like it's a novelty because it's not something you can get, and they don't have it. Well, you can get chicken sandwiches sometimes at the grill, but they don't always have it. It just it's one of those rotating items. And so, and I'm not sure they have a spicy chicken sandwich ever at the grill on board. But anyway, yeah. So it's one of those things that people have sort of been asking for a long time with Disney Cruise Line, and they finally did it at Lookout. And I think it's a pretty good option.
Are you listening to our show because you want to make the most out of your next vacation? Great news, the fabulous team over at My Path Unwinding Travel can help guide you so you don't miss a thing. Their team of professional travel advisors are caring, knowledgeable, and experienced. It's why we use them to book our own travel. My Path Unwinding Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, which means they are recognized by Disney for their expertise and service. They have sailed on all the Disney ships, including in concierge, visited the theme parks, adventured with Disney, relaxed at Aulani, and so much more. Whether it's a Disney cruise, a theme park vacation, or Adventures by Disney, or if you are looking to expand beyond the mouse, My Path Unwinding Travel will elevate your next vacation planning experience. Even if you have already booked, reach out for a complimentary consultation to make your vacation even more magical. Ready to talk to the experts? Head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. Thanks, My Path Unwinding, for sponsoring today's show. Now back to the episode.
What did you think of the cabana experience? You had not done a cabana before, obviously, even on Castaway. The ones at Lookout are nicer. I mean, that's because they're new and they've got some, just some nice amenities in them. But what did you guys think of the experience?
It was really, really nice. So we got to Lookout. We got to the stores and we were shopping a little bit. And then we had just come out of the store and a guy approached us. He was like, "Hey, we've been looking for you. We need to take you to your cabana." I don't know how they found us, but we were like, "Oh, okay."
They saw your bracelets. That's probably.
That's why.
Yeah, they saw your cabana bracelets. Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of that. So they drove us from, I guess, the main area. It wasn't very far. We assumed we were going to be walking because, we kind of had an idea of like where we'd be going. And they ended up driving us on a golf cart, which is very nice. And they, basically explained, I think Castaway doesn't have this because, these are new, but it had like an iPad that was basically a menu of things you can ask for, things you can, do. Like it had like a drink menu. I think like some basic refill stuff, like if you want fruit, snacks, like nothing, like they weren't going to bring you your food necessarily, but it was like,
yeah, it's like chips. Yeah, it's like chips and fruit. And I think if you need refills, so there's always a cooler filled with like sodas and waters. But if you need refills of any of that stuff, if you need refills of like sunscreen or some extra towels, or like you can, it's really nice because it's at Castaway in the cabanas, you just press a button and then you wait for the person to come and then you have to tell them what you need and then they'll come back and bring it to you. But it takes longer because you got to get them to come to you first and then they have to go and then come back, right? Whereas it's really nice at Lookout that you can just input it into the iPad, including drink orders as well. The only thing they can't really do is if you're making, I think, like modifications to drinks, you can't do that through the app. So you just have to like actually, again, call for for a waiter and they'll come and take your order. And it's staffed by the folks who staff the concierge lounge on board are the folks who staff the cabanas at both Serenity and at the Family Beach. And that's at Castaway and at Lookout. They're fantastic. So they're like bar staff and the concierge host, basically. It's a combination of those folks. And yeah, they do a great job. I find the service level to be excellent. Of course, they can be quite busy because they're staffing an entire, island experience at both Castaway and Lookout. But I think they do a really nice job. How did the rest of the family enjoy the experience? Your mom was the only one who really knew in advance that this was going to happen. So she's the only one who had any opportunity to like do some research about like what is included at the cabana. Your dad and your brother are finding out on board. So like, yeah, what did they think of it?
So my dad especially, both of them loved it, or all three of them loved it. But my dad especially was like, I'm taking every minute of this and spending it in my cabana. Like he did not want to leave. Like he would come out sometimes, because he wanted to sit in the ocean for a little bit on the chairs. But he's like, I'm going back to that big like day bed and just spending my day there. He's like, he didn't pay for it. I paid for it. But he's like, we have a cabana. I'm using this cabana all day. So there was one point where my mom and I, we wanted to see the Junkanoo celebration. And my brother and my dad were like, no, we're not leaving the cabana. You guys go.
I mean, I can understand that. I, like you, wanted to go see the Junkanoo parade celebration, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was great. And so I did leave the cabana to go do that. But like I said, I can understand why somebody would not want to leave the cabana and would just want to stay and relax on one of those day beds because it's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, like we typically like we like to spend the day there. But, like we'll have lunch. And then by like 1, maybe 2 o'clock, it's like, all right, let's head back to the ship. On the cabana, we were like, oh, it's like 4 o'clock. I guess we have to finally go back now. We wanted to spend like every minute in that cabana, which was great. And it was really nice. We had like our own like private like shower and, you had those chairs that were sitting there. There was like a small, like, not like walkway, bridge, whatever you want to call it, to get to the ocean. And we were actually, I think, the second cabana in. So the family beach was pretty close, but it was very, very empty. Like, our section had like no one in it. I know Serenity, it's different at Castaway, where I think I'm pretty sure the cabanas kind of have their own beach area.
Yeah, because the cabanas are kind of past where the main part of the beach is, both the family cabanas and the Serenity Bay cabanas. It's like they are just past the family beach and then just past the adult beach is kind of how they're set up.
You know, it was open to everybody, but it might as well have been our own secluded area, because it was very, very, like, the family beach, like up to the right of us, was very packed. Ours was like empty. So it was really, really nice just to sit there and relax and just have like really the day to ourselves. Like, it was very, very beautiful. And that water is like nothing else.
Oh, it's gorgeous, right? The sand is soft. The water is beautiful. You get a little bit more waves and more water than you get at Castaway, because it's not a completely protected cove, but it's still pretty calm. It's just lovely. Yeah, it's a wonderful day. I'm curious, going back onto the ship, I'm curious about some of the stuff that you guys got up to on board. As an adult only party, you have a different experience than, a family with young children who is going to family trivia and running around, getting character photos of your child and figuring out, how to entertain the little ones. For you all, you have the opportunity to do things like Palo Brunch, to go to the adult only activities, right? To probably have late dining and go to the early show. And so tell me, what kinds of stuff do you and your family like to get up to on a Disney cruise?
One of the things we really like about Royal Caribbean is the like perfect day at, I almost said perfect day at Lookout Cay. Perfect day at Coco Cay. We love like the water slides. We actually are going to Atlantis in like a month or two, because we just love the slides.
Oh, so nice. You're big water park people. Yeah.
We are. Yeah. We spend a lot of time on that aqueduct. We'll park ourselves on, like the top deck of the
on like deck 12. Yeah.
Yeah. The movie is playing, and it's like, all right, we watched a little bit of this movie. Let's go back on the aqueduct. So we make our rounds. We do that. So we actually were doing that. We did have late dining, and I've seen the shows. We missed them because we just didn't want to get out of the pool deck. We were like, we need another round on the aqueduct.
Honestly, that's like we always tell people, one of the secret squirrel like tips, if you want to spend time on the aqueduct or the aquadunk on the Magic or the Aqua Mouse on the Wish class ships, like, the best time to go is during early dining. Like, spend your time on the pool deck. The pool deck empties out. You can get onto on the Aqua Mouse, you can get on and they'll just let you keep going around and around and around. They won't even make you get off. You have to get off. Yeah, you have to get off and climb back up the stairs for the aqua.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, on Dream and Fantasy, you got to get off and go back up. But you can go over and over and over again, and there's not going to be hardly any line. You might have like one other party in front of you, really, because it's just so quiet, and Funnel Vision's still playing. So, it's a super nice thing to do. Well, I will say I'm disappointed you didn't go see Beauty and the Beast for the fourth time, because that is like such an amazing show, but I can understand.
It is a really good show.
Yeah, but I can understand staying on the pool deck for all that time, because it's a great option. So now, because you guys are an adult only party, you have the opportunity to go to some of those after dinner activities like Match Your Mate, Pop, Majority Rules, those kinds of things. Did you guys get up to any of those activities on board?
We did do the quest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a scavenger hunt in the room, right? Yeah.
Yes. So I had fun, but it's a little bit more tame compared to the quest on the Royal Caribbean ships. I don't know if you know about that, but that gets really wild.
I have heard. I have not done it. I will say let me put it this way. Those kinds of activities on Royal are not my vibe. The versions on Disney are closer to my vibe.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, on Royal Caribbean, it's like, I think it's 18 plus. I don't know if this was 18 plus. I didn't see any kids in there because it was in the adult lounge.
Yeah, it's still 18 plus because it's after, I forget what time it's like after 9 p.m. All those areas are adult only.
Okay. Yeah. So we did do that. It was very, it was still fun, but it was like they were asking for like your key to the world card. Whereas like on Royal Caribbean, it's like, all right, we need a woman to take off her bra and, present it to us. So it's a little different. But what my family likes to do, we're like big deck walkers. We will just walk the deck for like 2 hours after dinner every night. I mean, we did the quest and then we did, we did the pirate night and fireworks, but every other time we're just like doing our laps, doing our deck 4 laps, like just going and going and going until our feet fall off. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, it helps with all the food you're eating on a cruise, right? Yeah.
It definitely does.
I totally understand that. Now, what about daytime activities? Do you guys do trivia, crafts, or drink tastings? Like, what are you guys typically doing when you're on the ship?
So we of course did Palo. We didn't do a trivia this time. We were kind of just wandering. We did the baby thing, the diaper dash.
Diaper dash. Yeah, that's a fantastic event. Yeah. Everyone should go to that. I don't care if you have a baby or no baby.
Agree. Like, it's entertaining.
It's hilarious. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and my dad last year, we like picked up the detective, like the midship detective agency, like to find the missing puppies. And we never found them. So like for the entire year, he's like, we never found those puppies.
I love that.
So this year I told him
find the puppies.
We found the puppies this year.
Yeah. Oh, good. Listen, if you go on again or you go on the fantasy, you have to do the Muppets. Yes. The Muppets. Yeah. I mean, they're all really fun, but the Muppets one has some extra stuff because it has,
I think it's got the door, right?
The Pepe's door, and it also has the movie board thing that's over by the Walt Disney Theater and outside of the Buena Vista Theater. But anyway, yeah, it's better. I will say it's just a little bit, it takes a little bit longer though, because you have those extra things. And I advise people when you go, the first time you go to that board or to Pepe's door, take a picture of it. And then it stops you from having to go back again. Because otherwise you might have to go back more than once to those locations. And so if you want to cut it short, you just take a picture of it. I still have pictures of Pepe's door on my phone. So if I can send you a picture of Pepe's door if you want.
I actually do have a picture of it because I think on my first cruise, I just came across it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's so cute, right? It's so fun.
I have it, but I didn't know what it was for.
Didn't know what it's for the Midship Detective Agency and it's specifically for the Muppets storyline. It's the only storyline that requires you to use something other than one of those screens. Yeah, super fun. All right, well, we got to talk Palo Brunch because like you said, this is your first time doing Palo Brunch. You had heard so much about it. I got to ask, did it live up to the hype?
I think it exceeded my expectations.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, what'd you order? Because that's always an important question.
I think I mean, everything. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got both of the, the charcuterie boards. I think there's one seafood option and then there's like your traditional one. We got both. I think my brother got an Eggs Benedict just to try it. He loved,
people love their Benedicts. I can't like speak badly of their Benedicts, but to me, it's just the Italian food is so good. I don't need to eat. And I'm not big. I'm honestly not a big, Egg Benedict person anyway.
I'm not a big breakfast person generally.
Yeah.
But to me, eggs,
they're fine. I just think that the food you're there for is the Italian food. That's what like Palo is known for. And so, that's what you should spend that's where you should spend your stomach room for. Now, did you go for one of the soups? They have the tomato soup and the celery soup. Which one did you have?
I went for the tomato soup. I think my dad got the celery soup. I got the tomato soup. I loved it. Delicious.
I love it too. Absolutely. And what entree did you get? Because that's, of course, an important question. Are you a lasagna person or are you a chicken parm person or did you go off a different recommendation?
So I got the lasagna. and my brother got the chicken parm. I knew I had to try that chicken parm over the risotto, so I'm glad. Like I was kind of intrigued by the lasagna, so I went with that, and we kind of just shared. Both were amazing.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I always go for the chicken parm. Brian always goes for the lasagna. And then we usually eat a bite of each other's, like, because I'm always very happy with my chicken parm, but I always want a taste of his lasagna because I know how good it is. And so that's a perfect sharing. Now, did you get convinced to do some of the flatbreads or they're pizzas, but they call them flatbreads because they're fancy at Palo?
We did. So immediately we were like, all right, let's get the, I think it was just the like sausage or meatball pizza, which was delicious. But they were like, they told us, they said there's a secret pizza item.
Grape and gorgonzola.
The grape and gorgonzola. And I was like, that doesn't sound like it's for me. That sounds really weird. I don't like that. My dad is a very adventurous eater. He will try anything. So he's like, well, I'm ordering that. And let me tell you,
right?
I'm so glad. I don't know why that works.
I don't know why it works either. Francesca, we're the same because the idea of gorgonzola, like I don't like blue cheese at all. I won't eat blue cheese in a salad. I won't eat it on a cracker. It does not matter. Like it's like Sam I am. I will not eat it on a train. I will not eat it in the rain. But for some reason, you put it on a pizza with grapes and it just works. I don't know why.
And I don't know why grapes work on a pizza either. Like to me,
it's
like,
very
I like
strange.
Grapes,
Same.
but I don't want it on my pizza. And apparently I do want it on my pizza.
Apparently.
My dad like took a bite of it. He's like, you need to try this. So I was like, okay. It was amazing.
Yeah. And the spicy sausage one that you got is a good one also. Let me be honest, but like but it's not nearly as good as the weird grape gorgonzola.
I know. I don't know. Like, and like a classic sausage pizza, I'm very into that. I didn't even touch that. I had like a bite of that because I was like, well, I'm eating all this great pizza. Like I need to have
I love
all my calories are going towards that.
Yeah, I love that. Now, did you guys get an assortment of desserts or did you just go for one, or are you not a desserts person? I'm not a desserts person.
Yeah, no, we got a variety. Honestly, I can't remember what we got. I know my brother got something like creamy. It was like a yogurt almost.
Yeah, it was either the Zabalion or the what is the other one? Like a panna cotta. They have a couple of different ones that are that have different, like I'm not big on those, like I'll call them pudding like desserts, but I don't like flan. I don't like
I'm the same way.
Yeah. And so I'm also just not a big dessert person. So I tend to skip dessert at Palo, but everybody else always orders desserts. I'm always like watching them eat dessert and I'm drinking my coffee or my iced tea or whatnot. Yeah. But Palo is a absolutely delicious meal. Now, if you go back on Disney Cruise Line, would you do brunch again, or would you want to at this point try dinner? Because brunch is so good. It's, it's hard to.
That's a tough question because so we're going on the Destiny in May and we're going for 4 nights. And when I went on the Wish, I wasn't a fan of the Marvel restaurant. So if I play my cards right, we'll get Palo for the Marvel night. If we can, or one of the Marvel nights. I don't know. Maybe, because there might be 2.
No, there's only going to be 1. So, okay. So there's, okay. So the Destiny is going to be doing 4 and 5 night cruises. So you're only going to get 1 themed night in Marvel. And then, but it's going to be, I don't know menu wise, but I know that the show is going to be the night 2 show, not the one you saw on the Wish. It's going to be the other show.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, so it's going to be the Groot and Rocket show is what's going to be on the Destiny. And if they do it like I think they're going to do it, you're actually going to have a different menu because it's going to be, when I say night 2, I'm referring in the Treasure.
I know you're talking about the Treasure, yeah.
Yeah, because Treasure has night 1 is the identical to the Wish, and then night 2 is the new menu and the Groot and Rocket show. And that menu is actually really, really good. Like there's an excellent salmon and there's a good shrimp dish as well, both, and you're a seafood person. So both of those are really good. So you'll have to, I won't know. Well, we'll know closer to when the Destiny, the Destiny's coming out later this year. I'll keep you informed, Francesca.
Okay, good.
I will keep you in the loop as to which menu
Please
is
do.
on the Destiny, because you may not want to skip Marvel. You may want to skip
Okay.
1923 instead. So
Good to know.
Yeah, because you're not going to want to miss. You're obviously not going to want to miss Lion King, but there are going to be. So if you're on a 5-night cruise, the other menus you're probably going to have, I don't know for sure, but the other menus, you're probably going to have a pirate menu. And then if you're on a 5-night, the other menu, you might have what's called the Let the Magic Begin menu, which is across the fleet. And it's an often like a first night menu on those 5-night cruises. So yeah, so it's also a good menu, but it's a more kind of standard menu. So anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but that's my prediction.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Good
Francesca,
information.
yeah, I think it's about that time where I subject you to some arbitrary rules, it's hard for me to say my own rapid fire. Arbitrary rules, some arbitrary questions, and a dash of judgment, or the round we call rapid fire. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to start with some Disney favorites. You tell me, who is your favorite Disney character?
Ooh, I'm going to have to go with Simba. He's a classic.
All right, well, it's good that you're going on the Destiny then, because you're going to love the Lion King restaurant. Okay, favorite Disney movie?
Lion King and Lilo and Stitch. I fluctuate between the two of them, but I'd probably go with Lion King.
Awesome. All right, favorite Disney song?
Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride.
Awesome. Love that. All right. Now we're going to move on to Disney Cruise Line. With your answers, you can choose from anything on the Wish or on the Dream. But you can't choose from a ship that you haven't been on yet. Okay, we're going to start with your favorite Disney Cruise Line stage show. So main stage shows on either the Wish or the Dream.
I got to go with Beauty and the Beast.
Thank God. Whew. Dodged a bullet there. Okay.
You were afraid I was going to say Aladdin.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say Aladdin.
I just like Aladdin, but it's not Beauty and the Beast.
It's a good production, but nothing, it's like very hard to beat Beauty and the Beast. I mean, when I was about to say nothing beats Beauty and the Beast, but then I forget that Moana exists, and that's,
I know, I got to see that.
It's fantastic.
One day.
All right, favorite bar space on either the Wish or the Dream?
I really liked, I thought the Bayou was really pretty.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Love that. All right, favorite onboard activity. So this is just a favorite thing to do on a ship.
Free ice cream.
Yeah.
I just get that free ice cream.
Absolutely. All right, favorite rotational dining restaurant.
I think in terms of quality, I would say 1923, but my favorite is Animator's Palette.
Yeah, because I mean, the theming is just really fun. Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk food. A favorite sweet item and then a favorite savory item. We start with the sweets because the savories are the best and we save the best for last. So a favorite sweet item on a Disney cruise.
I really like the the lemon ice box.
Oh, the lemon icebox pie. Yeah, Brian loves that. Yeah. I'm not a lemon person, but he is obsessed with that. Yeah.
I'm a big key lime pie person. That's my favorite dessert, and it's very similar. So
Brian also. So that explains why he loves that.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And me, I can pass on all sweets that are lemon and lime. I can pass.
Usually me too, but not a key lime pie.
A key lime pie. Okay. All right. A favorite savory item on a Disney cruise.
Favorite savory item.
I mean, you can choose that grape and gorgonzola pizza, by the way.
You know what,
just putting it out there. All right. I love it.
I'm going to.
All right. Okay. Aqua duck versus aqua mouse.
Aqueduct.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Really important question. Very controversial. Favorite ship, Dream or Wish?
The Dream.
Yeah, that's the right answer. I mean, they're both lovely, but that's the right answer.
The Wish is beautiful, but the Dream is, it's the Dream.
Yeah. If you're going to get married on the Wish. If you want to go on a vacation, go on the Dream. That's what I would say.
That's fair enough to say. I think that's accurate.
Yeah. Okay. My last question, bucket list cruise. If you can go anywhere in the world on a Disney ship, and it doesn't have to be someplace that Disney Cruise Line currently goes, it just has to be someplace that you can access by water. Where are you going?
I really, really want to do an Antarctica cruise. That's like really on my bucket list. So to have Mickey and Minnie be there would be really cool.
I love that. Awesome. All right, Francesca, thank you for playing. You have won rapid fire today. Congratulations. So you mentioned you've booked the Destiny. Do you have anything else booked, or is that your next cruise?
I've got a Royal Caribbean Alaska cruise this month at the end of, actually it's August 1st. So
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be great.
I'm excited for that. The Disney cruise is very expensive on Alaska for 2 rooms. So.
I hear you, because we're going to Alaska later. Actually, this episode will be out. We'll have already come back from Alaska, but we're recording this, we are going to Alaska at the end of the summer, and we're super excited to do it. But I completely understand. Are you sailing out of Seattle or out of Vancouver?
Seattle.
Awesome. So you'll be in our hometown. Awesome. Well, all right. Well, Francesca, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you. Please keep in touch and come back and visit us after you've been on the Destiny. We'd love to hear your experience. We'd love to hear what you think of Palo dinner, what you think of the new ship, all of those good things. But with that, I'll just say thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy. I'm pleasure to be here, and I'll hopefully see you next time.
Awesome.
Well, thanks to everyone out there for listening this week. We really, really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep getting great content from us every week. In fact, twice a week we publish shows, so be sure to hit the subscribe button to get all of those great episodes. And if you want to watch us live, we have a live show now every week, Monday nights, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, over on youtube.com/DCLDuo. So be sure to head over and check that out. If you want to help support the show, be sure to hit those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you leave us a written review, a 5-star written review, we will read it at the top of one of our main episodes, so please head over there and hit those 5 stars. Of course, you can also help support the show by supporting our fabulous show sponsor, My Path Unwinding Travel. If you want to book your next Disney vacation, head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCLDuo or email them at DCLDuo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. If you've got questions or you'd like to connect with us, the best way to do that is to head over to DCLDuo.com. It's got links to all of our things, full catalog of the podcast episodes, including a searchable catalog for the podcast, links off to our vlog, a link to our Etsy store where we sell some fun fan-inspired magnets, link to our Patreon if you'd like to help directly support the show each and every month. Just head over to the website or patreon.com/DCLDuo. Also has a way for you to sign up for our Substack newsletter that we're hoping to start really pumping out monthly here at least, and a few blog articles that we've written. So DCLDuo.com is the best way to connect with us. You can also, of course, email us at info@DCLDuo.com or reach out to us on our voicemail line at 402-413-5590. That's 402-413-5590. The DCL Duo podcast is not affiliated with Disney Cruise Line, the Disney Company, or the Disney family of theme parks. The views expressed on the show are solely those of the individuals on the podcast and in no way reflect the views of the Disney Company or Disney Cruise Line. If you have questions about a Disney cruise or a Disney vacation, please contact the great folks over at My Path Unwinding Travel or Disney directly, or your own travel agent. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time for another fabulous adventure with the DCL Duo. Good night.